Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's performance of
The Diz Explorers
will begin in 2 minutes. Excellent
listening
locations are still available all around Showcase Promenade. Due to the use of
alcohol and opinions.
around the lagoon, for your safety, we request that you remain on the promenade side of all railings. During the show, please watch your step and take small children firmly by the hand. Once again, this evening's performance of
The Diz Explorers
will begin in just 2 minutes. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Diz Explorers podcast, where each week we discover... I should probably change that. It should be each episode, because if you haven't noticed, for the summer, we've been doing the every other cycle just to enjoy our summer with our families. So anyway, where each episode we explore the different avenues of the great Disney universe. So this week we're all here. Yay!
Yay!
Nobody's away anywhere. Everybody's here.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. Because everybody's here, you know, we have a jam-packed episode of travel reports. Good travel reports. Adrianne was the first of us to get to experience Toy Story Land, and better than that, it was just her and her husband. Not that going to Disney World with your kids is not fun, but when you get to just go as adults, it just is like next level fun. So she's going to fill us in on that. Because she's always prepared, and I always start in order anyway, there's no sense in changing everything after 2 years. So, Adrianne, you can go.
All right. Yeah, you say I'm super prepared, and I'm sitting here looking back at my pictures on Facebook now going, now, what did we do? That was just 2 weeks ago. But yeah, it was mine and my husband's 12th wedding anniversary, so we guilted my parents and sister into keeping the kids for the weekend. And,
nice.
You know, it doesn't work often, but occasionally I can throw the whole, you know, I did get married on this date kind of thing out there, and it works.
Trumps a lot of things sometimes.
Right, exactly. Plus, there was a whole, my kids' annual passes have expired, but ours are still good. So I was like, you know, I can't really take them anyway. I could, but, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. We just didn't mention that part. So you should have seen us planning for this trip to begin with. Like, it's like when you know you're going without kids, you want to cram as many things non-kid friendly into it as possible.
Yep.
So we talked about the Disney After Dark or After Hours, whatever it's called, where you can be like in the Magic Kingdom till 1 or 2 a.m. Mm-hmm. We had brunch at California Grill booked for a little while, but dropped it to do the Wild Africa track. It's been an insane few months of planning, which was a lot of fun. But ultimately, we ended up doing 3 brand new things that we'd never done before. And the first one was the H2O Glow Night at Typhoon Lagoon. We had never done any of the water parks, so that was a brand new experience to us. The Toy Story Land and the Wild Africa Trek.
Nice.
Is what ended up staying in.
Trifecta of awesome right there.
Right. It really was a lot of fun. We'd originally planned to fly, but we used one of the cheap airlines, Allegiant, that does nonstop, and then they started having, you know, like smoke in the cockpit and you know, just minor technical issues. So I was like, well, we'll fly, you know, Delta or United or something like that, and they don't do direct flights from Greenville near us. So with the layovers and having to get there early for security and all of that good stuff, it was only going to save us about 2 hours of driving just flying.
Geez.
So yeah. So we were like, screw it, we'll just save $1,000 and
hell yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Exactly. So we just drove down instead, which is fun.
Nice.
You know, you're on an anniversary trip anyway. You get to spend lots of time together in a closed environment and talk and listen.
Yay!
No, it was fun. It was good.
No, I know.
And then there was a weird thing about our resorts too, because we do rent DVC points, and apparently I wasn't on the ball enough and wasn't able to get 3 consecutive nights at Boardwalk, which is where we wanted to stay. So we were only able to get Friday night and Saturday night there, and spent Thursday. We were originally, when we were going to fly, we were just going to like hit up a Hampton Inn near the airport or something. But then when we drove, it just kind of changed everything. And I ended up renting one night at Caribbean Beach, which was the very first Disney resort I ever stayed in when I was 17 on my very first trip.
Nice.
Yeah. So we drove in, and I was like, this feels oddly strange and familiar, but also really different. And then, Melanie, I know you especially had asked about the construction and all of the stuff that they have going on there. And
right.
So I don't know how much has changed in the last 18 years, honestly, but none of it, like, I didn't remember anything that was going on except for the fact that there were beaches. That's the only thing I remembered. So, but the construction there, I mean, there was a good bit, obviously. And as you're driving in, you basically get no view on either side of the road of what's going on. They've just got scaffolding and that fake green, like, supposed to look like leaves tarps up everywhere.
Yeah. Construction scrims everywhere.
Yeah, it was lovely. And we did take a little tour around the resort, just kind of walked around a little bit. We saw that I think it's called Spyglass something or another, is basically the only food location that's open. There was a food truck of sorts near the pool, but I think it was supposed to be their pool bar as opposed to like actual food. And then they had another food truck set up that was for souvenirs. And you could only walk maybe halfway around the pool before it was stopped completely, and you had to turn back around.
Wow.
So I forgot what it's called, Old Port Royale or something.
Yes.
I think the main area.
The main area, yeah.
Yep.
Completely under construction still, that you couldn't go.
Oh wow! So that whole food, because there was a huge food court with like all different.
Just what I vaguely remember.
Yeah, and the only reason I know about that is I've never stayed there, but we went there and the kids did maybe they probably don't do it now with the construction, but it was like a pirate's treasure cruise where like 2 cast members would take whatever 10 kids out.
I saw a sign for that.
Okay, maybe they still do it. So
Yeah.
and it took off from the back of, and they stopped at different places along wherever they could dock, and they did little fun things with the kids and little, staged buried treasure and stuff like that. So I know Steph and I went inside to the lobby to check it out and have something to eat, and they had some pretty decent, like there was a whole like breakfast thing that did like all your own omelets and waffles and stuff like that. So it was set up kind of like, it was all like the Caribbean colors and flags hanging all over the place and stuff like that. So it was, it was a run of the mill food court, but I thought the theme it fit pretty good. It was like next step up from the All-Stars, but
Didn't they move the food court?
Honestly, I don't know. Like I said, it was the only time I was ever in that main building.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. And like I said, the only food location that I saw open was the pool bar and whatever the Spyglass place is called. Spyglass something. I can't remember.
Spyglass Cafe.
There we go. Something. Sure, that sounds good.
Yeah, exactly. No, that one's open right now.
Yeah. But anyway, it was nice. It was still pretty. It wasn't loud, for sure. Like, I didn't hear a bunch of construction from where we were staying, but we weren't in the room for very long anyway. We hung around and walked for maybe, 20 or 30 minutes or so before we left to go to Typhoon Lagoon. But it was really cute. My daughter is completely obsessed with pins right now. And
oh boy.
They left 3 pins in the room as a complimentary thanks for putting up with our mess kind of gift.
Yes.
So those were really cute.
They've been giving some good pins away for stuff. I know Coronado had some, there was like a Dole Whip pin that I know somebody had put on Twitter that they'd recently gotten there. And then I think there was like some 3 Caballero pins that were...
that would have been cute.
Yeah, I think so. They've been... Yeah, I mean, it's just a pin, but if you're into that stuff, I guess they've been putting some pretty decent ones out for people, not just like run-of-the-mill Mickey or whatever.
Yeah,
what were the pins?
We got Donald. They were all in a pool. It was like a pool theme. So there was Donald, there was Minnie, who's like drinking a poolside drink, and then Goofy on like a pool float. So, and it was all like set in the scene. So where they were positioned on the card was correct on the picture. It was adorable.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
It was really cute. And then I was like, yay, one less thing I have to buy. So
Yeah.
daughter.
Souvenirs, check.
So, but after we kind of rested from the car ride, we went to Typhoon Lagoon. And like I said, I've never been to any of the water parks as many times as we've been down there. I think just because I'm so focused on the theme parks that I don't want to take away from those.
Yeah.
And like I said, we did the H2O Glow Night, which was a hard ticketed event. They're going on every Thursday and Saturday night for, I think, the majority of the summer. And it's hosted by Party Source Rex. And
Nice.
He's adorable. He's just a giant blow-up balloon, like dressed in a tutu, but it's still really cute. And then they have special meet and greets. We met Woody and Jesse. I've never met Jesse before, so that was new.
Oh, wow. Cool.
The only time we've ever tried in Magic Kingdom, it was raining that day, and so they had to be inside.
Yeah.
And then we met Buzz, and I've met Buzz before, but the lines it was insane. I mean, it reminded me of, pretty much any other hard ticketed event you go to with, limited attendance. But
Right.
I mean, getting on and off the ride, we rode Crush and Gusher. I think we counted 7 times.
Nice.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Wow. That's the big one there? I don't know anything about the water park. I mean, I've been once.
The big one, I think, is Misadventure Falls, which is a big family raft ride.
Right. Right.
But these are like the coasters, like water.
Yeah.
And there's 3 different ones. There's a banana, it's called banana something. Another one's a coconut something, and another one's a pineapple.
Okay.
And we immediately found out the banana's the best in case you ever go back. It's banana, I promise. But yeah, it was great. And then we just kind of wandered around, and I remember telling my husband that it was strange to be in something that was so obviously Disney and to feel so discombobulated, because I can't tell you how many times I had to check the map to figure out where I was and what I was doing. I felt really, really out of sorts and cold, really cold after the sun went down. Because it went until 11 p.m. So after the sun went down, I was freezing. I was not prepared for it all. But anyway, it was it was a lot of fun. They had a dance party out on the beach by the wave pool. They had special eats and drinks and cocktails, I think, that of course had like the glow cubes in them. I tried the Impossible Burger, which is supposed to be this new meatless burger. It's served there, and it's served at Nomad Lounge, and it's supposed to taste exactly like a regular hamburger, which it does not. But it was good. It had like a chipotle aioli on it or something.
Right.
So, I mean, it was delicious, but you just can't replicate the texture of a hamburger.
No.
Can't with black beans. So, but it was really good. Like I said, it was really, and the plates, I didn't even want to throw my plate away because they were all fluorescent, and they glowed in the black light.
Nice.
It was horrible. Oh, and then my favorite part is that when you were leaving, it said "later fishes," which is my favorite line from the Party Source. Right? What up, fishes? It's my favorite.
What up, fishes? Yep.
That's funny.
That's a great short.
I was gonna say, have y'all ever seen that short? Because
yes, I have. It's a great short.
It's my favorite of all the Toy Story shorts. So it was a lot of fun. I couldn't find our towels by the time it was over with. Like, I had no idea what they were. And we didn't buy any specialty merchandise or anything, but it was totally worth the price.
What was it?
It was $55 per person, where I think a regular ticket is $59, maybe. So slightly discounted with a significantly shorter time in the park, obviously. But
right, but you could do everything, or mostly everything.
We rode every single ride, and then, like I said, Crush and Gusher at least 7 times, and then Misadventure Falls, I think, twice. So, and we rode in the Lazy River, and we got in the wave pool, and I never felt rushed at all. Plus, we spent time eating, met characters. I mean, we did everything that there was
Cool.
to do in the 3 hours.
It's
So
really a laid back place. It's my kids and I used to love going there.
it was, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, the theming is really, really impressive. I don't know why I'm impressed by Disney theming at this point because, they go over and above for everything. But
yeah, but like you said, it's unfamiliar territory. You haven't been there,
Right.
so it's all new.
I mean, I remember walking up and I can't remember the name of the ship, but the ship sitting on top of the mountain, whatever. And
Yeah, I don't remember what it is either.
I was blown away. It was so gorgeous. So a lot of fun, but up way past my bedtime.
Yes.
The party didn't end till 11. I think we left around 10:30 or so. And one of the reasons that we had chosen Caribbean Beach is because it was so close to Typhoon Lagoon, so that when we headed back, it wouldn't take us too long, and I could get back to my bed.
Yeah.
Did going to the party make you want to take time to go to the water parks when you're there with your kids, or did that not really change your opinion?
No, it did. I want to try out Blizzard Beach for sure, just to kind of compare and contrast the two. But my kids, I still think it would be kind of hard for them, especially Zachary, my 5-year-old, because and I know a lot of other parents have kids like this, but there are a lot of the rides that kids have to go down on their own, and then you follow them, and I'm like, he's gonna drown by the time I get there. So
yeah, that's how it was last time we took our kids, and we were with my brother and everybody, and I think it was at Blizzard Beach, and my daughter just didn't want to go on anything, literally nothing. Yeah. So I just walked around with her, and which in turn meant I did nothing.
Right.
So
right.
It was everybody else was having fun. My wife was with my son. I mean, I didn't do nothing. I mean, we did a few. Right. I did a few things because I was like, that's it. I'm just doing it and whatever. But yeah, she wanted to have no part of anything having to go down by herself. So
yeah.
And she was probably 7 at the time.
Yeah, and Mel, my 7-year-old, is kind of in
those.
the same place. So maybe when they're older in a couple of years, now that I still won't have my bearings because only having gone there once, but and at night. So
right, and at night, yeah. I think Typhoon has just like a separate kiddie.
They do
area, if I remember correctly. Like I said, this was, I don't know, 5 years ago. I think that we were there, and same thing. And prior to that, I hadn't been there since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So.
But it was totally worth it. So if anybody out there is thinking about the remaining Thursdays or Saturdays, if you're going to be down there and have thought about a water park, it was definitely worth it. Definitely worth the price.
Nice.
So then the next morning, I uncharacteristically slept till 9:30. I never do that, especially at Disney, right?
Yeah.
But, like I said, I have a pretty strict 10 o'clock bedtime. So I'm like 80 at heart.
But, except for Monday nights.
Right,
when we keep you up
then,
way
I'm
past.
like dragging by 10:30. But so anyway, I slept in a little bit, and then we went to Epcot where we did our second biannual Eat Around the World challenge. Was great. Never not good. I mean, you're eating something from every country in Epcot, so
nice.
Always good. I'm trying to think if we tried anything that was extraordinary. Ooh, I got the cheddar cheese soup from Le Cellier.
Oh, from Canada? Nice.
Yes, it was delicious. I got it on
stuff.
poutine. It was so good.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so that was probably my favorite thing that we tried.
Cool.
And then by the end, I was like over in Germany, and I was like, can I just get a strawberry dipped in caramel? Because I
can't fit anything else. I know.
No. So I was glad that we started over usually we start in Mexico, so starting over on the Canada side kind of was nice too. Oh, and we checked into Boardwalk that morning before we came over and had the sweetest cast members in the world. And of course, I'm still filling out the whole DVC rental process sometimes. And I had wanted to request a specific room, the room that we had stayed in December. I wanted the same room because it had a great view. And so I put that request through the DVC member that we rented their points, and was told not to do any online check-in, which was really hard for me because I like to know when my room was ready.
Right. Because because then you almost you
like
pretty much
override
just
the request.
yes.
Is
right.
what I was. So went in at like 10 o'clock that morning and was like, I understand that I'm not allowed to check in until 4, but I'm here. And what can you do for me? So the cast member was wonderful and wasn't able to get us in the exact room, but it was literally 2 rooms down. So it was basically the same view. And she was so cute because she was like, well, someone's already in that room, but they didn't make a request and y'all did. So we're just going to bump them out. Okay. Just for me, we appreciate that. So what was the view? Clown pool? You like to look at the clown pool? No. We had towards Flying Fish, and you could see Spaceship Earth.
Nice,
so
perfect.
International Gateway. Yeah, it was. We lucked up with that view last time, and I'm like, I can't. Why would you get anything else?
I'm gonna need that room number.
I'll tell you later. I'm not gonna blast.
Yeah. No. I know. No, definitely later. Yeah, no.
Yeah, you'll have everybody trying to get that room.
I'm not gonna put that out. I love y'all. Listeners love you, but no.
I've never done the room request thing because we've never stayed in. I mean, the Polynesian when we were there, that I would definitely want that room again. But anywhere else, I've never done it because we've just had like garden views or anything else. But if I was able to look at Spaceship Earth, waking up to me that trumps looking at the castle just because Epcot's my favorite. But
it was so cool. I will say awesome. The next time if we go again and make another room request, I'll ask. We were on the 4th floor, and I'll ask for the 5th floor because I think it would be slightly better, and then I won't hear people stomping above my head.
True that.
I need very few things, but people not stomping above my head, and the iconic Disney icon.
Yes.
So after I was stuffed and couldn't breathe, we went and were able to check into our room. We rested for a little bit before we headed over to Toy Story Land. I was super psyched for Toy Story Land, and so was my husband. We were really looking forward to it. I knew that Slinky Dog is supposed to be like a family coaster, so I wasn't looking for thrills or anything, but was really looking forward just to kind of seeing the whole thing. Anytime they open something new and there's theming, I'm really looking forward to it. And I was so blown away by Pandora that I was hoping to be as blown away by Toy Story. And I was to a degree, but I'll preface it with saying that Toy Story Land is not geared towards me as an adult. So, and I don't think I have enough of a child in me to truly appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like,
right. No, I think
I have a childlike wonder and innocence about things, and I just kind of got stressed out by the way that the lights were haphazardly strung. You know what I
mean? You're funny.
You wanted to clean the room.
I really and the grass is huge and it looks like it needs to be cut. And I get it. Andy's mom was single and probably didn't have time to get to that stuff, but
you just couldn't let it go.
It really kind of stressed me. But I will say, for what they were going for, they nailed it on the head. I mean, you're supposed to be shrunk down to the size of a toy. I definitely felt that way. They're like 20-foot long shoe prints that are supposed to be Andy's on the walkway as you're walking. You sit when you're at Woody's Lunchbox, you're sitting on Baby Bell cheese. That part.
Cool. Yeah.
It's really, they're a sponsor of the land, and you can totally tell.
Oh, okay.
And even some of the shading over the seating area are like wrappers of baby seats. It's everywhere. But it's fine. It works. I feed my kids Baby Bell cheese, so it makes sense in the context of what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
But you walk in, and there's the giant Woody that everybody has seen and posted pictures of next to Toy Story Land. And then you walk in, and like I said, because it's from a child designed it, it's just craziness everywhere. And but it's beautiful too. Don't get me wrong, especially at night when the lights are on, it's really, really gorgeous. I love the way that they've redone the front of Toy Story Mania. I like the new queue line. The outside of it looks like it's a cardboard box, like it may have been the box that the game would have come in or something. I'd much prefer it to the old entrance. And I remember, RJ, you and I talked in a previous podcast about where it spits you out and how close it is to Galaxy's Edge. So when you do Toy Story Mania, the queue, it finally ends up in the queue that you kind of recognize after a while.
Okay.
And then when you come out, it's like where the exit was originally, but to the right. So instead of coming out to the left at the back of Toy Story Mania before, it's to the right back behind Alien Swirling Saucers.
So you're coming back out into the new part of the land or onto the old Pixar place?
New. Right at the entrance of Toy Story Land, that old entrance to Toy Story Mania and behind is now blocked off.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Your stand was and the popcorn cart and Jesse, all of that is completely inaccessible.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So you don't access that part of Pixar Lane or whatever it was called.
So there's only that one main entrance in and out.
In and out. So it's
as of right now.
Yeah. And eventually it looks like it'll lead directly into Star Wars Land. So I'm interested.
I would imagine for traffic they would have to.
How they make that transition, because it'll be two very different themes.
Well, that's interesting. What'd they do with all the
tall
stuff
trees
that was in that alleyway when you used to go down to the old entrance?
Do you mean...
Well, there was like a toy shop and a face painter.
Well, yeah, but then you also had the little stand up there where Luxor came out every once in a while.
And
there when Luxor came out?
Car?
Say what? I'm sorry.
You mean the car? Like there was the Dynaco car?
No, the lamp. There was a pillar right across from the entrance where Luxor would come out of this little opening and he would look around and...
Oh my gosh.
I never saw that.
Yeah. So I wonder if they moved him someplace else, because you're saying that whole area is closed now.
Yes. Essentially right where the old...
where you turn to go through the hole where the studio was, where they used to do like the Pirates of the Caribbean and the Narnia thing.
Yeah, that's the entrance to the land.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So, One Man's Dream is still there.
Right.
I mean, like all of that, the Star Wars meet and greet, all of that is still there, but right past it, it's all blocked off.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I was surprised too, because I wasn't sure how that was going to work. But yeah, so only one way in and out, which was...
Yeah, I can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And the day that we went, Hollywood Studios had extra magic hours until 12:30. So I thought that crowds would die down, but they did not at all. It was pretty much insanity all evening long. I did manage to snag a fast pass for Slinky Dog Coaster, so we went through the fast pass line for that. Took maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And when I say it's insane, it's a small area, but it never once felt insanely crowded like Pandora did.
Okay.
And like Pandora still does to me sometimes.
Right.
But
the flow is weird in Pandora.
It is weird. And the flow is kind of strange here too, because like there's the one main pathway, and you got Toy Story Mania to the left, Slinky Dog to the right. You go down a little bit further, and there's Woody's Lunchbox on the left and Alien Swirling Saucers on the right. So it's like, it is very much like a funnel.
Yeah,
like you funnel in and out.
Huh.
But Slinky Dog was so fun. Pro tip, right in the back.
Yeah?
Yeah, most of the time, you're told you want to ride in the front row of a coaster.
Right.
But if you ride in the front, Slinky Dog's head is humongous, and it blocks your view of everything.
Gotcha.
So you can't see anything, and it's a little bit more of a whip-lashy kind of ride in the back. It's not much. It's still a very gentle coaster. And then the other thing that we didn't like was, I understand that it's essential to the theming of who Slinky Dog is, but his little coil is placed very strangely. It's too high to be a hand grip. So it just kind of is another thing that blocks your view while you know what I mean? Like
on the car itself, you mean?
Yeah, on the cart itself.
Okay.
Like when you're in the car, because it has a little. I do like that it has individual knee pad that locks you
Restraints?
in. Like it's not over the shoulder. Yeah,
okay.
Restraint. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. We're getting closer to 10 o'clock. You can tell. And So I like that because in, like, say, Barnstormer or something, when I'm riding with my child, who is significantly smaller than me.
They're bouncing all over the place, yeah.
Yeah, it hits my knee.
Yeah.
And he's still got like 6 inches of room.
Yep.
So I like the individual thing. But then, like I said, his little silver coil is just, y'all should see me like gesturing wildly while I'm talking, is like right at head-eye level.
Oh.
So
Weird.
it looks great. The whole ride, the theming of it is so good. And you're passing by, and the audio is exactly when you're passing by Jesse and Rex and all the other little different characters that you meet as you're going across. It has one like really big hill, maybe halfway through. It stops you like halfway through the ride. You just stop, and then it backs up. And I posted a video of this, I think, on my Instagram this week. And then you hear Slinky Dog going, "Hang on," and it pulls you back, kind of like retracts you like you're a retractable toy, and then sets you off on this giant hill. And you expect to have like a big down,
Right.
but you don't. I don't know how they restrain it, if there's like brakes or magnets or something, but it ends up being the most gentle little slope. It's nice, and you get a great view of Galaxy's Edge as you go across.
Yep.
So that was really fun, and then it had some bumpies, and I really liked it.
I heard the exact same thing, pretty much to a T, what you have just described about that particular section of the coaster. That on Twitter, there was people were talking that have been in and gone on it multiple times and said the same thing, that the views are awesome, and they don't understand how they. I mean, they get it because it's geared towards kids, like you said. It's not supposed to be the next rock and roller coaster, but how they had to hold that thing back from really just taking off after that little because it's almost like, because he's Slinky Dog, so it's almost like you're stretching his spring out and then letting him go, and he's taking off. But yeah, the smoothness, people were saying it equating to Mine Train, but even smoother. Mm-hmm. It's next
definitely.
level. Like Mine Train is smooth, but it's saying that this is even smoother.
Yeah, I mean, it really
and you
is.
can't even hear,
It really
it's so
is.
quiet. You don't even hear that you're moving anywhere, I guess.
Yeah, and Mine Train is like that too. I think it's
definitely
aged
is.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is very quiet, very smooth, but a lot of fun. I would rank it as more thrilling than Mine Train.
Okay.
But
Well,
still definitely
I think
kiddie.
I think what adds to that is because it's an open coaster. Like
Yeah.
Mine Train,
You feel enclosed.
well, because you have all the theming around you. The track is enclosed. You
Right.
can't really see the track. Like Slinky Dog, you see the whole thing. It's it. There's nothing surrounding the track or the cars or anything else. You're in open air, and you can look out and see the ground and the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that probably
And you're not in the dark like Rock and Roller Coaster.
right.
Right.
Or Space Mountain, right? So you can.
You also get some really great views of Tower of Terror.
Oh yeah, cool.
Too, as you're coming over the little bumpies. So I mean, it's a beautiful experience.
Nice.
So even if you're not going for a thrill, it's still definitely worth the wait.
Oh, good.
We went back at nighttime because I wanted to ride it with the lights on to see the difference.
Yeah.
And the posted wait time was 70 minutes, and I think we waited 40.
Okay.
So not bad at all. I didn't think it was bad. And the wait times, it seems, as I've been watching, have consistently been around 60 to 70 minutes.
Right.
And I probably would not wait 70 minutes. I would use my fast pass for sure. But but still, overall, totally doable.
Did you like it at night? I heard at night it's like a different experience. Like the music changes and the lights are all cool, like the Christmas lights. And I heard nighttime is better than daytime.
I liked them both equally, honestly, just because of the views that you get during the day.
Oh, right.
Which I think will be even more interesting once more Galaxy's Edge construction is complete, because there's no hiding it. When you're up that high,
I can't imagine.
you're seeing all the structure.
You can see in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really cool if you're a Star Wars geek like myself. But at night, it was a different experience, and I think I hadn't thought about it before, but like you said, the whole open airness of it was what made it so different at night, because it almost made it feel like a rock and roller coaster or a Space Mountain in that you couldn't see as well. So it was
cool.
a little more thrilling.
Yeah.
So, but it was so good, and we found the hidden Mickey, which made me happy. So. We did have to wait for alien swirling saucers, which is exactly like the Mater's Junkyard Jamboree.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Same ride system. The posted wait time for that one was 30 minutes. We ended up waiting 60 because one of the sides went down. And yeah, that was not fun. It was not worth a 60-minute wait. It was fun.
Right.
But 20 minutes would be my max for that one. Right? Yeah. So, but I mean, it was fun. It was cute. You know, whatever. We made lots of new friends in line.
There you go.
It was fun. And let's see, we ate at Woody's Lunchbox. We used mobile ordering. Thank goodness, because the line was nuts.
Yeah.
But the limited seating, and I'm sure it'll be fine when Star Wars opens, and two, once the kind of newness dies down. But we were standing for a long time. We never did find a seat. Eventually, we just found two random strangers who were sitting at a table for 8, and we're like, yeah, can we sit with y'all?
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, and made new friends again, you know. And
please tell me you got tater tot something.
We did. We got loaded tot.
Nice.
And I got the brisket sandwich.
Ooh.
Which was delicious.
Nice.
And the tots were also really good. I didn't get any of the desserts because I was still kind of full from Epcot that morning. And the tomato soup, I got the tomato soup side to go with the sandwich, which I'm not sure why I did that because it was July in Florida. But it was still good. It was still good. All of the food was really good, honestly. Christopher is the one that got the tots, and he loved them. So,
nice.
So yeah, the food was good. Definitely good. Definitely different. Something different for Hollywood Studios, which it needed.
Yep.
And then we rode Toy Story Mania, which I won. You know, he beats me every time on Buzz Lightyear. I don't know how, but I whip him in Toy Story Mania.
Cool.
Yeah. So I love Toy Story Mania. It's one of my favorites, and both my kids cry on it every time. So
now
Zachary makes it to the first whip, and then he's done. Yeah, he'll beg to ride it, and then be like, ah! And then I don't get to play, and I get sad. Oh,
now
I know.
So now, when you, because I've seen videos from somebody I knew that was there as well. So when you're exiting Toy Story Mania now, there's a Wheezy animatronic that sings to you.
It's on the coaster as you're
on
finishing up the
coaster. Okay.
Yeah,
confused.
so Wheezy sings to you. You've got a friend in me.
Cool.
I think. Yeah, it's super cute. I love it. I love Toy Story anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, who doesn't really of this generation? But it. So he's super cute and adorable, and everything was really cute. Like I said, I was never the kind of child to build things out of Tinker Toys and pencils, so it just kind of stressed me out a little bit.
Oh, so
it's like I knew it was like structurally sound. But
right.
I was like, that's a pencil. That's a pencil.
I got you.
Holding up the roller coaster.
Oh, so I'm gonna love it then, because that was my. That's all I did. That's kind of all I do now. Just get paid for it, but.
I know. I'm hoping that eventually they'll like add the creepy doll head on the octopus legs. Like I want to see some of the crazy.
They should have all the weird stuff. All the Sid's reject toys.
Halloween overlay, maybe.
They should.
Oh, that would be awesome.
They should. Yeah, that should be like the nighttime thing. Like all the the freaks come out at night.
Make it a little more adult friendly,
right?
Yeah. No. That would be awesome. So yeah, I think that's all for Toy Story. Unless y'all had any more questions that I didn't think of to talk about.
No, I just wanted to hear your. It's funny because, if you go by social media and stuff, and there's been people that have been poo-pooing it since the beginning just because it's not their thing, and even if it's people that have children and complaining that the theming was half-assed or whatever, and the comparison to Pandora to this, well, they're both new lands, yes, but I don't think you can compare one to the other because they're two totally different experiences, and one is not meant to be an all super immersive, taking you off the planet to another world,
right?
Type thing like Pandora is. So,
yeah, and it is super immersive, but not in the same way that Pandora is. You know, when you're crossing over the bridge into Pandora and all of a sudden you don't hear theme parks, you only hear the bugs and the music.
Right.
That you don't have that experience.
Right. There's a lot more separation because of the size that they had to go to. I don't know. I mean, you can go into arguments about the logistics of everything with anybody, and somebody's going to find fault with it anywhere. But I think the overwhelming response that I had noticed of at least people I know and follow, and I'm glad you kind of echoed everything, was it was just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's just fun. I'll tell you what I saw on Twitter, and it summed up the comparison of those two exactly to a T. It says that Pandora gave you a reason to go to Animal Kingdom.
Right.
But Hollywood Studios, Toy Story Land is something you go to while you're at Hollywood Studios. Like, you don't make the trip to go to Toy Story Land like you will to Galaxy's Edge or Pandora.
I saw the exact same thing.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean.
It summed up exactly what I thought about it. It's so fun and it's super cute and it's totally worth going, but it's not like worth planning an entire trip around to go see.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's something that was needed at that
It was
park.
definitely needed.
So,
yeah.
I mean...
And it has brought crowds to that park for sure. I mean, we're seeing lines for Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror that I haven't seen in a long time, because if you can't get on Slinky Dog, then you're going somewhere else.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you need something to do while you're waiting on your Fast Pass for Slinky Dog, that's what you're doing.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. I mean, that park needed its love.
It needed a little kick.
It needed its love. So good. I'm glad.
Yeah. So it was really good. We headed out. Like I said, there were extra magic hours went until 12:30 a.m. I did not last that long. I lasted until 11:30, and I was proud of myself for that. As long as I could do. And then I was like, okay, we're like a 10-minute walk from Boardwalk, right? Like, we can do this. And I was like giving myself a pep talk walking back to the hotel. But
I've walked that a couple times. It's not that bad of a walk,
it's
really.
not that bad. And we've done it
it's not
several
bad at
times
all.
now with our trips to Boardwalk. But I was so
I
tired.
tell people that, and they're all like, "You're crazy." I'm like,
To
"No,
walk-
it's not that bad."
To walk from the studios to the boardwalk? That's like
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah, I would
If
rather do
that.
the Studios walk than I would the Epcot walk. Personally,
Well,
because like if you're trying to make it to Spaceship Earth,
Oh,
you
if you're
gotta
trying to
it
make the
all-
front of the park or Soarin' or Test Track, that's a hump.
Yeah.
But if you're just trying to get
Yeah.
into the park, then it's right
Right.
there.
Right. So, but anywho, we had made a point on this trip to, it's hard for me too, guys, to not overplan every single minute of the day. Just because our trip back in December had been so relaxed, and there were days where we're like, we'll do this, maybe. If we don't want to, that's fine. And just had a much more relaxed trip. And so we wanted to echo some of that, even though it was only a 4-day trip this time. So Saturday morning, we didn't do anything. Like, we just kind of laid around in bed, slept late, went and got a little bit of breakfast. And then we actually went to Animal Kingdom because we wanted to do Everest and weren't going to have a chance the next day with the time that we needed to leave and the Wild Africa track being as long as it was. So we went and rode Everest and got a snack, and then we went to Magic Kingdom and got kicked out at 10 o'clock because of the Disney After Dark thing. We hunted for hidden Pascals, which I'd never done
those
before.
fun. Did you find all of them?
We found 7.
That's better than me. I
And
think
that was
I think there's
cheating a little bit.
Oh, really? I think 5 or 6 is the most I've gotten.
So I took pictures of all of the ones that we found.
Nice.
Oh gosh, it was so much fun.
It is.
I was like, because hidden Mickeys are one of my favorite things. So, that play on that near the bathrooms was
It's really cool, yeah. Because some of them,
and we rode.
some of them
Go
are
ahead.
pretty. No, I was just saying, some of them are pretty hidden.
Oh my gosh!
Like, ridiculously
and
hidden.
Cheated and used somebody else's blog. Like, I pulled it up on my phone or something. I know, not for all of them.
I know.
Okay, but for several. And you couldn't tell which ones you were supposed to be looking for because a rock looks like a rock. And when Pascal is painted to look like the rock,
yeah.
like, you're just screwed.
Or there's one on the tree there across the way that it depends on the angle you're looking at. And I've found them, and then like you go back to find it again, you're like, where the hell is it? Did he move?
Yeah. So, but it was so much fun, and that is something I do want to take my kids back to do.
Yeah.
Because we love hidden Mickeys. So, like I said, that's kind of the thing in our family. We're always looking for hidden Mickeys. And so that's something new and different. And I almost talked my husband into getting in the Hall of Presidents, and he'd never done it before.
Really?
And then we walked in, he took a picture of the Great Seal, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm done. We're good." Okay. Because I haven't done that since I think I was 17 either.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a long time. But we did Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder, I think, which had a super short wait. I was so sad that we ended up having to leave because the everybody, I think, was leaving because of the ticketed event starting at 10.
Mm-hmm.
So by 9 o'clock, the waits were nothing.
Oh, wow.
Splash Mountain was like 15.
Nice.
Big Thunder was 15. I mean, we rode and then we had to get kicked out after. And plus the fireworks were going on at the same time.
Right.
Everybody was doing the fireworks and then peacing out, which we did too. Well, not the fireworks, but after we got off Big Thunder, it was time for us to head on out. And we got, the last time I was kind of herded like cattle after the fireworks, we were taken through Casey's and then through the shop
Through the
on Main
Emporium,
Street.
yeah.
But this time they took us behind. Like we went backstage.
On the other side, behind the...
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a while.
I didn't
Behind
know
the
that.
plaza.
Yeah, you go behind... And actually...
No, not behind the
Casey's.
plaza. Behind Casey's. Like we were looking at trash dumps.
Oh, that's
It
new.
was,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
they
the,
have the big trash tube back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, on
like,
that
I mean,
on that
the
side.
two- Tube
it was
in the sky.
backstage.
Now,
And
see, on the other side, that backstage area, they've actually fixed
Well,
up.
they fixed it up because they use that as the dump.
like we go through there for like the
Halloween,
yeah,
yes.
the Halloween party,
Yeah,
right?
Mhm.
but they'll use that
yeah,
as
no,
the
this
exit.
was like
yeah.
cast members hanging out, smoking in the back, kind of backstage,
Hmm.
and I was like,
Interesting.
You
Right.
pass by. You probably pass by one of the buildings where they keep the parade floats.
probably.
Those are over there.
That's
Buildings
no,
back
that's back
there.
behind Splash because it starts in front.
No, you can.
Yeah, it-
Okay, you think it is.
Well, you-
but
right,
when
right.
You're back there, you
Right.
see
Oh.
Splash, and then you see Casey's, and you realize how close they actually.
No, you're
are.
right. I know because I did the tour back there. You're right. It does it. Yeah,
I was like, "Whoa, there's Splash! How'd that get there?"
yeah. Well,
I thought I was
'cause
behind Main
that
Street.
show building is so huge that it
It is so
Right.
big.
it goes all the way to the left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was, I just remember looking at Christopher and being like, I don't think Walt wanted us to see this part.
No.
You know?
All in the name of traffic control.
I know. It was insane. And then we had, I think, taken a bus there. And we're like, well, we'll just we were going to get on the monorail. And then some flippin' cast member decided to tell the giant line for the Ticket and Transportation Center that the resort monorail took them to the same place. And I was like, jerkwad. All of a sudden, like a mass of people starts headed towards the resort monorail, and I was like, I don't have the time or patience for this. So I needed to do some shopping anyway. So we ended up walking to the Contemporary. Oh, that's right, because we'd had Ohana that night, so our car was at the Poly. I'd forgot about that part.
Holding out
So-
on telling us about Ohana dinner.
Sorry.
Most important part.
Listen, as much as I raved about those pot stickers, and they were good. They were still good, but they were a little dry this time, and I was kind of sad.
Damn it.
I know. I'm sorry. So anyway, our car was at the Poly, so we needed to get up to the resort monorail to take us there. So we ended up walking to the Contemporary and doing a little bit of shopping, and then hitting the monorail there back to the Polynesian. Because that line, oh my gosh, the monorail
yeah.
just ended up being nuts.
Yep.
Nuts. And even at the Contemporary, I was afraid that we were going to have to get in separate cars. It was so packed. So anyway, that was quite the adventure. And that was Saturday. And then our last day was Sunday, and we woke up early to head over to Animal Kingdom and do the Wild Africa Trek. And our start time was 8:45, and they recommend you getting there 30 minutes ahead of time. So we were in Animal Kingdom at 8:15.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really nice, actually. And I have never laughed so hard in my life. Like, they dropped the rope,
Uh-huh.
and the entire crowd went running to the left.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, everybody was headed to Pandora. And I was like, bye, headed to Africa.
Later. I'm going to go get something done. Yeah.
Right. So, but I was like, oh, that was me last year. So I can't really say much. But there was some communication confusion between the cast member who met us at the front of the park for the trek and his communication to his partners back near the safaris, because they didn't want to let us past the Africa bridge. The cast member there, like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, well, I mean, we wouldn't have got back here if someone hadn't told us to.
Right.
Like, she was so sweet, but she clearly took her job as the rope holder very seriously. So eventually they let us go back to the safaris, and we got all geared up, you know, looking awesome in our vests.
Yep.
And there were 11 of us on the trek, and it was the best money I've ever spent in Disney World in my life.
Isn't it? I told you.
Like, you can't hype it up enough.
No, it's ridiculous. I want to do it again, and I don't care if it's the exact same.
Yeah, it was amazing. We had our two guides were Nick and Daisy. Nick is from New York, and I forget where Daisy said she was from, and now I feel really bad. But he knew where Clemson University was, so he kind of knew where I lived, and he knew about the football team and that kind of thing.
Oh,
and
there you go.
yeah, so it was really, really, really fun. And the other ones on our trek, there was a family of 4, like a mom, dad, their 2 kids, and another that was a mom, dad, and their daughter, and then just me and Christopher. No, and then another couple. I forgot about them. But I loved it. I loved every single second of it. I loved how knowledgeable they were about the animals, how passionate they clearly were for conservation and what they have going on there at Disney. And we talked a little bit about the jaguar that got loose in another zoo like that morning or something and mauled like 6 or 7 animals.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it was bad.
Oh, wow.
But hearing them talk about the difference in accredited zoos versus non-accredited zoos and what was going to happen to that zoo because of that mishap, and all the different fail-safes that they have with prey animals and predators and all the things. They were like, you know, when you're near the tigers, there's like 18 different locks on a door you have to undo to get behind the door.
Oh, yeah.
Little fail-safes that you hear and understand, and
it's
like I said, it was just,
it's so much information that they give you. It's like, because the same thing when after me and Steph did it, I was like, I already forgot everything that they told us.
Yeah.
Like as soon as we were done.
But like all the different about identifying the different types of animals. We had this great experience though after we finished the rope bridge and you were finally able to take the vest off and you can like breathe for a second.
Yeah.
And we got in the Jeep, and then we were headed through the giraffe section.
Yep.
And one of the giraffes decided he was going to hang out on the road.
Nice.
And had no intentions of moving whatsoever. And he said, you know, sometimes this happens, and we're not allowed to move them.
No.
This is the animal's home, and we're the ones driving through it. And I said, well, I never really thought of it that way. She's like, but don't worry. In a few minutes, a dude in a green truck is going to come up, and he's going to literally beg the giraffe to move. And it might, and it might not. She said, we sat here for 55 minutes one time waiting for a giraffe to move. And we probably sat there for close to 10. And I think the giraffe's name was Wyatt. Because Daisy kept saying, Wyatt, you're a bad, bad giraffe. And even once he moved, like one hoof was halfway on the pavement. And they're like, we can't move until she decides to move that foot.
Right.
So, but she did tell us that basically for every minute that a safari vehicle is stuck waiting on an animal is about an extra 10 minutes in the standby queue. So anytime you see the queue line like spike for no apparent reason on the safaris, you know, there's a bad Wyatt.
Animals in the way. It's always the giraffes.
It is always,
the giraffes. We had
an ostrich get in the way one time.
Oh, and you definitely can't mess with them because they're mean.
We were just like,
or one time we did it. It was the black or white rhino. I don't remember which, but he just came out and sat down right in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And you're not getting a truck around there.
Nope.
No. So we just kind of hung out for a little while, and that was a lot of fun. I liked how they kind of pointed out things that were real and not real. They didn't call them fake; they called them Disney real,
yes.
which I liked. Like the ostrich eggs, I had always kind of assumed they were fake, but they were like, yeah, it's because ostriches are really stupid.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't know this. And they were like, yeah, so we figured or the Imagineers, if they made fake eggs, then an ostrich would go, oh, hey, look, eggs. I should maybe lay an egg here too. And, and I just
baobab trees.
The baobab trees.
The termite mounds, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, a baobab tree of that size would be like 1,500 years old or something like that.
Right.
So,
yeah, we transplanted that.
Yeah, totally.
That's right. Yeah, flew it in.
I mean, Disney can do a lot of things, but
it's just some things not.
Yeah. So, like that one I knew was fake, and I knew the termite mounds were fake, and the eggs. So, but Disney real. But and then lunch, we had brunch-ish because it was right around 11 on the Boma.
Yep.
Well, I mean, come on.
Isn't that awesome? Isn't that like almost the best part of it, sitting up there, and then you get the jungle juice, and you can eat everything.
Yeah.
Oh man,
the food was good. It was not amazing. It was good.
I liked it because I like all that stuff from Boma and stuff. So I ate all of mine, and whatever Stephanie didn't eat, I ate hers too.
Yes, definitely. But I drank like 3 glasses of the juice.
Yeah, me too.
That's my favorite thing.
I drank all the juice. Did you go in the bathroom?
No, I didn't.
Oh, they didn't tell you that? Oh, the bathrooms are so ridiculously... They're so cool because they're small. They're just single bathroom. I think it might even be unisex, so there's just one.
Well, they said there's men and women, but we don't really care because they're single stall.
Right, it's a single stall, right. The decor is... They're like, people... They've become famous. People take pictures of it. Just the tile work and like the jewel inlay and stuff they had in it was just really intricate and really, really cool. So they were like, yeah, when you're in the bathroom, take a picture of the floor or above the toilets or something. I don't know. I remember I took a bunch of pictures from in the bathroom. So I was like, I'm intrigued. You're telling me to go use the bathroom. I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah. No, they didn't say that.
Okay.
I'm kind of just.
Did you walk all the way like to the across the? Like from where you ate, and then you were able to walk all the way towards, I think, the Lions, like way out on that Outlook Bridge.
Yeah,
okay.
we definitely did all of that, and then of course I took panoramic shots.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous, and the sky was so pretty that day. It was almost like it was meant to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like just so pretty, and it was just. Of course, there weren't any lions because by the time we got out there, it was like 10:45 in the morning, and they've pieced out for their morning nap.
Yep.
And then I don't think I remember anything after that part. Rhinos were next.
I think rhinos.
Once you end with rhinos,
you're pretty much towards the end. I think after you eat.
Yeah.
So I think it might be the rhinos, and then that's it. And then you're done. Did they feed back towards the beginning? They fed like the hippos and stuff, and explained all that. Yeah, that was pretty cool. You go out and then
that was really cool.
Did you touch the snake at the end of the ropes course? At the end of the bridges?
No.
No. I think I was the only one out of everybody in our group that went over and was standing near the girl and asking questions. No, everybody else was huddled in far away.
Yeah, I don't do snakes.
They're not my favorite thing in the world, but I was like, she's holding it. What's gonna happen?
I was really bad at the clip, the carabiner. Really bad at it. Oh yeah, I couldn't figure it out to save my life. I felt like such a dummy. I was like, I'm like the 12-year-old of the group who can't do anything. So Christopher had to help me a little bit, and Nick had to do it one time. I was like, I got nothing. I'm just really not an outdoorsy kind of girl. But the ropes course was really fun.
It was pretty cool, huh?
It took forever.
Well, because people I had my phone, so even though they take pictures, I was trying to take pictures and not drop it, even though it was lanyarded into the thing. But yeah, they definitely don't rush you. I mean,
no, and I mean that's good.
Yeah.
But because they space you out for so much, it took a long time for 11 people to cross the bridge.
Yeah, that definitely takes a long time.
But it was one of the most memorable parts of the trip because I know it's structurally sound. I know I'm not going to fall, but when you have to stretch that far between boards,
I know.
And then all of a sudden you look down and there's a crocodile below you. You're like, You know what? Just take me now, Lord, because
theming.
Yeah, I mean, it was theming exactly. Anyway, but it was super memorable, and I loved how they were like, "Don't forget to pose at the end for your new Facebook profile picture."
Yeah.
You know? So, but it was definitely good. And again, we were able to afford that really because we decided to drive instead of fly. So we had a little bit of extra in the budget, and it was totally worth it. And I remember I was talking to one of the guides about the pricing. I was like, yeah, I was kind of sad that they didn't offer any discounts in the morning. And she said, so how much did you pay for the morning? And it was like $189 plus tax or something like that. And she goes, yeah, we offer discounts in the summer for the afternoon treks because it's so hot that it's only, relatively inexpensive, but it's like $129 for afternoon treks. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to deal with that. But it was worth the $200.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I found out the guides each do 2 treks per day, like a morning and an afternoon. And then sometimes they get to be the person talking about the hippos, and sometimes they get to be the picture person on the ropes course. It was really interesting to me about that kind of as a career almost.
Oh, yeah.
Too. Which, I'm not going to be a zoo person, but it was really, really fascinating to me. And so, yeah, that was pretty much it. After we finished our trek, which finished like 10-15 minutes early, we headed into Pandora for our one fast pass for Flight of Passage, which at this time, I think I've ridden that maybe 5, 6, I don't know, several times.
Oh.
And, well, we did the pass holder preview, and then I get a fast pass for it every time we go.
Right.
Plus, we did, you do rider swap when you got the youngins with you. So I was like, we could skip it. We don't have to. It's my favorite ride, but it's, whatever. And Chris was like, no, let's go. And then you get on it and you're like, why did I ever?
Yeah, what the hell's the matter with you? Yeah.
It's the best ride in the world. and then we left and then drove back home. And I think I slept most of the next day.
You need to recover from your vacation.
I did. I really did. I took the next day off and just kind of hung out with the kids at home. And
nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. But it was a really good trip. I think I've gotten almost too used to adult only trips. That is.
Yeah, they're nice.
I love taking my kids, but it's just so much easier when you only have one person to worry about, and you go, "Hey, I'm thirsty. Are you thirsty? Yes, let's go get a drink."
Exactly.
And it's not a whole where's the stroller and who's got the bag and do I have the Capri Sun? It's a little. It makes life a little simpler.
There's only one more step after that, and it's a solo trip, and then you don't gotta worry about nothing.
Oh my god, dream.
Yeah.
Yep. That's for sure.
You need somebody to share it with.
No, I know you do.
No, you do.
You do.
But,
You don't.
a half day or one day in the parks by yourself, and it's so nice.
Bucket list.
Yeah,
so nice.
I can't say bucket list. I did it in September because the last day Milford went to Animal Kingdom. I went to Magic Kingdom, and I spent the whole morning there. And then I went. I got half the park done by myself, and then went over to Epcot that day. But it was like, wow. It's like this is awesome.
You can maneuver through like packs of strollers with.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I felt like Dory, just zigzagging through wherever I wanted. Just you know what I mean. Just the fastest thing in the sea.
There's nothing better than being a guest without bags. Like that's what I've decided. There's nothing better than just piecing out by the security line and being like
later.
Exactly. And then they go, "Excuse me, I need you to walk through."
That's right. Yeah, neither. Yeah, that's right.
So close.
Yep.
But we even started not taking a bag with the kids, just being like, you know what? I'll just go get some free water from a quick service somewhere, and y'all could just be cranky because it's not worth it waiting those lines.
Yeah.
Nope.
But anyway, my trip.
Very good. Well, awesome. I'm glad you got to. I'm glad you liked Toy Story Land, and I'm glad you did those other. Yeah, I'm not a huge water park person just because it's not something. I think I would have done that hard ticketed event had I been down there and had the opportunity because I'd heard good things from other people I knew that did it too. So that's good. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And the Wild Africa Trek, I knew you would like because I remember you telling us about it, that you had booked it. So I'm glad you enjoyed that. And yeah, that's something I will recommend to anybody. Like don't. it's one of those things where, yes, it's a hefty price, especially if you're taking your whole family, if your kids and everything, if they're of age. But holy crap, it is worth every penny of it. Even if you get it at not a discount, because when Steph and I went, there was, I think there was no DVC discount or anything for it, and we paid full price, same thing, $189 or whatever it was, and worth every penny. I mean, hour and a half, whatever it is, hour 45 minutes, and it's just phenomenal.
It's just 3 hours.
Oh, 3. It was even longer. Yeah. No, it was just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, you forget half of it. That's why you thought it was an hour.
No, it's just phenomenal. It's just such a cool, intimate experience. It's a small group, and like you said, the staff is so knowledgeable. And I think we had two girls that did it with us, and one of them, she was still in school. I think she was like, entomology was like her thing, so she was really into bugs and insects. So like, along with the other animals, if she saw something else, she would point. So it's just a wealth of information that these people know. Just add to the experience beyond what they have to know for the actual thing, but the above and beyond is just insane with that stuff.
And I will say I honest to goodness think my favorite part of the whole package is the fact that they take pictures for you, so you can really truly be in the moment, and that's included in the price.
Yep.
I mean, we came home with, I think, close to 200 pictures that they had taken, and I mean, they told us you get access to the gallery of the best pictures that they've ever taken of the animals.
No.
You don't have to. Yeah, you do. I looked it up. Like, they're a gallery of 50 or 60 more pictures that they didn't take on your trek. They're just of the animals.
Yeah, there's just stock photos they stick in there.
Yeah. Because I'm very much a picture-taking person. I'm always taking pictures. And I had my phone, and I did take a couple of pictures, but the ability to just leave it in my little vest pocket, knowing that they were going to capture all the moments for me, let me be so in the moment that it's something that you don't get to experience that often.
Yeah.
Well,
that's for sure.
Yeah. So, anywho, now I'm done.
Cool. Nice. All right. Well, good. I'm glad. That's a good trip.
Yeah, it was. It was very, very good.
And with that, we're going to wrap this episode up. We thank everyone for listening, and we'll talk to y'all next time.
Hey, so I wanted to give everybody an update on the Indie Disney Meet, which this year will be August 25th, and it will run from noon to 7. There's lots of things going on. As you guys know, last year we raised $25,000 for Give Kids the World through our own tax-deductible organization here, Magical Wishes for Kids. If you want to donate and you can't make the meet, there is a link on the page that we will link in the show notes for how to get to that. Lots of things going to happen this year. Lou Mongello will actually be at the meet this year, and he'll be doing basically a talk show, kind of talking to the crowd and stuff. Roxy Dar will be there, who is a Mouse Pros Travel Main Stage. Roxy is a singer, and will be doing a bunch of different. She will be doing a bunch of different princess voices and songs. We're going to have a virtual reality experience that will be a hot air balloon experience. Also, one of the show sponsor or the meet sponsors is actually going to be giving away a Walt Disney World vacation, 6-night, 7-day Walt Disney World vacation for a family of 4, 2 adults, 2 children. Accommodations at a DVC resort, studio villa of the winner's choice, subject to availability, standard Disney dining plan for 4, 6-day base theme park ticket for 4, $100 gift card, and of course Disney's Magical Express. Tickets for your chance to win this dream vacation can only be purchased at the Indie Disney Meet for $20 each. We've got lots of food sponsors this year: Meijer, Chick-fil-A, Papa John's, Perkins, lots of different foods that we're going to have there this year, on top of everything that all the volunteers and people that are attending the Disney Meet actually bring homemade food, and we'll have a Dole Whip machine there as well. There'll be presentations from Disney insider Jim Hill and a few other people. We'll have the expo again this year, which will be full of podcasters, bloggers, vloggers, experts, travel agents. I'll actually be there set up as my blog site, this podcast, and as my travel agency. There will be a raffle as usual, silent auction with lots of items in the silent auction. Lots of kids' activities. The princesses from Once Upon a Princess will be there yet again. 501st Legion, those are the guys that dress up in all the Star Wars costumes, will be there. Again, podcasters, vloggers, there'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 different podcasters and vloggers at the meet. They also have set up room blocks at both the Hilton Garden Inn and also the Fairfield in Fishers if you want to stay the night. Got a few corporate sponsors: Classic Cleaners, Behind the Ears Podcast, Be Our Guest Podcast, Chef Todd Eats Disney, CRI Devices, Duke Realty Group, Iquian, Happily Ever Disney, Hyatt Magical Vacations by Katie Surfleet, Hilton Garden Inn of Fishers, Mouse Pros Travel, Sunshine Rewards, and the Magic for Less Travel. Lots of things going on at the Disney Meet. Again, that's August 25th from noon to 7. It's totally free. All they ask is that you bring something to share, cookies, cake, whatever food item you want to bring, and you'll actually get a raffle ticket just for showing up, and you can buy additional ones. If you have any questions or anything, just drop me a line and I can answer questions as need be. Thanks.
Follow our troupe at www.dizexplorers.com, where you can find all the links for all our hosts' social media accounts. You can also follow the podcast on our Facebook group at the Diz Explorers and on Twitter and Instagram at the Diz Explorers. You can download this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher Radio, and also on YouTube. Thanks for listening.
Hope you had a good time. So long from Jiminy Cricket and Spectro Magic.